Hello, this is Sophie Lawson from sophielawson.com, and this is episode 60 of the So Free Art podcast, which is a little podcast that I do about the art and things whilst I'm driving my tractor. And these podcasts, normally I have a little bag and I pull a topic out, but for this week's I'm going to basically talk about 3 little topics, because I was at work today and on a little paper towel, I just decided I'd write out some topics I wanted to talk about. So the topics are going to be, I'm going to briefly talk about haters, lucid dreaming, and cats of June. And so that's the topics for this week. And basically I'll jump right into it really. Dennis, who normally pulls the topic out, is in bed, and I'll put a little video clip of him so you can see him lying in bed, because he looks quite comfy in there. But so if you want to see the podcast, because it is on video, you can see that at YouTube at youtube.com/Sophie Lawson. But I thought if we just jump into these topics, and the first topic is, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about Cats of June first. It's a little art challenge. It's a 30-day art challenge, which I've put a little blog post together about it, and it starts in June. And one of my favourite websites is svslearn.com. That's where I'm like studying my drawings and stuff. And on the forums, one of the artists on the forums called Joan Sodenholm, but I'll put links in the show notes at sophielawson.com. But he created a challenge last year called Cats of June, and he invited people to, if they wanted to sign up for this year. So I've decided to do it, and all it is it's for the month. He said himself, it's a very fun and relaxing, without too much pressure type of challenge. So it is a challenge, but it's also going to be fun. And all you got to do is, every day for the month of June, draw a little cat, and you could draw it, paint it. There's no rules. Like with something like Inktober, you've got to use ink, but with Cats of June you can do whatever you want. So on the blog post I've put he put like a little image together of I've got a bit of a sore throat today. I don't think I've got a sore throat. I think what it is I'm thinking about haters, and it's making my voice go a bit weird, because this podcast is taking me about 10 minutes to get started, because there's a lot of negative thoughts. I can sort of feel them going around in my head about my voice. I'll talk about that in a minute. But what Joan did was he put all of his 30 cats from last year, he made an image of them all together. It looks really cool, so I'll put that image in the blog post. And I've also linked to the post, to the forum, the original forum post, so you could, if you want to sign up, you can find it in there. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to split the challenge up into 4 chunks of 8. So I'm going to do 32 days, but for the final day I'll put 3 drawings out. And so I'm going to do 8 realistic pencil drawings from photo reference, 8 ink drawings of cartoon and video game cats, 8 watercolours, like copying other artists' cats, and then for the last 8 days I'm going to do 8 digital drawings of like original cats that I've come up with myself. And that's why I'm doing this challenge, because I've been wanting to create, like, I love cats, and I've been wanting to create my own little cat character, like an original character. Really, I wanted to be like a sidekick for Lil Sophie, my other character. But I've been a bit scared to try to do it, because I don't know what I'm doing. And so I think this challenge is going to be a good way to get me started, because I said on the post, when you're doing a challenge like this, it's a really good way to, it's all about having fun, but it forces you to just get started with things, because if you make the commitment that you're going to do it, you kind of, it's a good way of forcing you to do things. So hopefully at the end of the challenge I can have a new little cat character, which would be quite fun. But I think this is going to be a really nice little art challenge actually, and it starts in June, so you got like just over a week to do it. And I really wanted to talk about it on the podcast, and I've been thinking about maybe for the month of June making the podcast be all about these cats. So like the 8 days when I'm drawing realistic cats, the podcast could be talking about what I've learnt with these like cats and stuff. So I might do that, I'm not sure yet. But basically that's the first topic, is just all about the cats of June, which I think will be a really fun art challenge. But let's get into these other topics. So the first one is haters, and it's kind of linked actually with this lucid dreaming, and then one of these like synchronicity things, which it keeps happening, because I was in the cleaning cupboard and I'd write this down, what I wanted to do, these little topics. So I went out to empty the bin outside, and because of social anxiety and stuff, I'm trying to improve my social skills. One of the things I do is I have a little daily, it's like a challenge, it's called an MVC. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's basically like a mini challenge, and what it is it's something that you do every day, which is quite scary, but it's manageable. So it is probably like a manageable something challenge, it's what it stands for. So my one has been to talk to a stranger every day, because if I keep talking to a stranger every day, again it's like an art challenge. An art challenge forces you to get started on art. These little mini daily challenges, it forces you, well for me, it forces me to like practice my social skills. So my little challenge is every day I have to talk to a stranger, and I normally do it while I'm at work, because I work in a shop, so there's lots of people. So there's this bloke that's outside, he sits on a bench, and for the past, must be 4 months, I've always said hello to him, because he was one of my challenges. And then, so I was saying hello to him all the time, but he would always say to me, "Alright boy," "Alright boy," which I thought was really funny. And this goes into the haters topic, because when he said hello boy, I could have taken that as a negative, because I could have said he's calling me a boy, but instead I just found it really funny. So that's when I started realising that I really am completely content with my gender, because I make these really funny noises sometimes, but like anyone can say anything and it's not going to affect me anymore. But I think there's something that does affect me, which is what I've learned with this other thing. But so for like 4 months he kept saying alright boy, and I just kept saying hello to him every day. I just found it really funny, and I would say hello to him, and in my head I would hear him saying alright boy. So it was quite fun. But today something amazing happened. I said hello, and he went, "Alright my love," and in my head it was like a firework went off. It was like a celebration, as if it was like I've nailed it. It's almost as if, I don't know, it reminded me of something which about 2 years ago I watched. There's this monk called Ajahn Brahm, and he was talking about, what was he talking about? He was talking about negative people, and he was talking about this bloke who was in a prison. He was one of the prisoners, and there was a guard who was really nasty to all the prison people. And Ajahn Brahm used to go into this prison and like talk to the prisoners, and he basically said to the prisoner, he basically gave him like a mini challenge. And what he said was, he wanted to prove to this prisoner that everybody is nice. At the base level, everybody is nice. So what he said was, I want you to, every day, because this prisoner was like going into the officer's office and making tea for him and stuff. I guess it was one of his daily chores. So what Ajahn Brahe said was, he said, every day you go in and make him a coffee, find out what is going to make him find out what his perfect coffee is. And every single day, give him that coffee, the best you can possibly make it, and be nice to him. And no matter what he says or does, be nice to him. And this officer was like horrible to everybody, all the prisoners, and he would never acknowledge the prisoners. So Ajahn Brahe, every like month or so, he would keep going in, seeing this prisoner, and this prisoner kept saying, look, I'm telling you, this bloke is not nice, because he was making this nice coffee for him, but the officer was just blanking him. And then what happened was, one day he went in and put the coffee there. The prisoner said something nice to this officer, and the officer went meh. It's quite funny, but the prisoner went back. The prisoner said he came out and he felt like that, because he said to Ajahn Brahe, that is the first time that he has ever acknowledged a prisoner, and it was like he had finally made progress. And that's what it was. It was progress. There's something in that. It just made me feel like it was like, yes, because I could have, when he started saying morning boy to me, I could have taken that and gone really negative with it, because I could have said, okay, I look male. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks, though. That's the thing I've learnt. The only thing that matters is what you think. So this is where it gets into something else now, because I got a message on one of my YouTube videos, which was like it was a hater talking about my voice, and they basically said something like, you need to stop smoking. But the reason my voice is the way it is, it like cracks and stuff, and it sounds a bit rough. There's two things here. I know a large part of it is mental. If I mentally think my voice is going to be like that, I can actually make it be like that, even though I don't want to. Somehow I subconsciously start making it like that. So I have to make my thoughts positive about my voice to keep it positive. But like I've said so many times, it's positive and negative. If somebody says something negative, it is gonna impact you if your positive isn't high enough. And I guess my positive isn't high enough about my voice at the minute, because this negative comment, it did affect me a little bit, but it also didn't. I laughed at it, which is really good. I didn't let it go around in my head, but it is in my head, so I am aware of it. So it is affecting me a bit, but it is funny. But it's got me thinking, why do people... But I was going to say, the reason my voice is rough like that is not to do with smoking. It's because I've had operations on my throat for every year I have to go back and have a camera up my nose, because I've got like a virus thing, or I had a virus thing on my throat. So they had to do these operations to get rid of it, and it's left it a bit rough and stuff. But the thing is, I have actually had a lot of people leaving me messages and sending me emails saying they really like my voice. So, but this one little negative one, this is what I'm saying. It is negative. It is quite powerful, but you have to just make the positive more. It's like there's a battle constantly going on. But it makes me wonder, why do people do negative comments? Because I was started thinking, somebody's doing a negative comment. Are they sat there writing that negative comment out, thinking I'm going to really mess this person up with this comment? Or are they writing that negative comment and they're not even aware that it's a negative comment? Like, are they totally oblivious? Because, I don't know, I would like to understand what's going on there. Like, if they're doing it on purpose or not. But then I think you can learn so much from that, for the negative stuff. Because I picture negative comments. I picture it's like a pile of poo with like a little jewel in the middle. Because I do feel like every single negative comment has an element of truth in there, because the truth is my voice is a bit rough, so there is truth in it. But what you have to do is you have to put your hand in the poo, which is a bit uncomfortable, and take the truth out, because I think you can learn from that truth. And it goes back to my dad, because my dad, I love my dad, but I would class him as somebody who, he's more on like the negative and hater side. And I remember as a child, like when I was 13 or something, my dad would say stuff about somebody, and he would say it in a really negative way, but I would always look at that and I'd actually say to him, I don't think I actually said it, but I would always say in my head, it's not, I must have said it to him, because I said, it's not what you say, it's the way that you say it. Because even back then, like as a child, I was aware that what Dad is saying, or what Dad was saying, there is an element of truth there, but he said it in such a negative way that the message gets completely lost, and nobody's ever going to actually like listen to what the positive thing, because there's so much like poop surrounding it. So in a weird way, they almost sabotage themselves. But this is why I wonder, are they aware of what they're doing? Or is it just like some weird subconscious thing that they're doing without even thinking about it? It fascinates me a lot. But I've got a really fun little thing now, and I come up with this yesterday. And there's again on SVS Learn, there's a podcast, 3-Point Perspective, which I'll link to in the show notes. And it's 3 artists, and one of them is Lee White. And on one of the recent episodes, they were talking about haters. And what Lee White said was what he does, and I've taken this and I've changed it a little bit. But what he did was he turned haters into like a challenge. So what he said was he made himself a challenge of 50 haters, and what he wanted to do was he wanted to collect 50 haters. So every time somebody sent him like a hate comment or something like that, he would take that, put a little 1, and he was trying to collect 50 haters. So he turned it into a game, and what that did was it made him almost want haters because he wanted to hit this number. So what I've done is I've taken that and I've thought, I've knocked it down to 10, and one of the things I've had to sacrifice, or I haven't had to, but I've decided to sacrifice, is ice cream, because I love ice cream. I used to eat ice cream cornetto every single day, and I sort of felt to myself it's not something I shouldn't be eating on ice cream every day. So I've cut them out, and I haven't had an ice cream for months. I don't think I've had one this year. So what I thought was, I'm gonna make it the Haters 10 ice cream challenge. So what I want to do is, every time I get a hate comment, I'm going to collect it, and when I get 10 hate comments, I'm going to treat myself to an ice cream. So I'm really excited now. I almost, like Lee White said, I almost want the hate comments. And what this is going to do is, it's going to turn that negative into a positive. So when somebody leaves me a hateful comment on my YouTube, I'm going to look at that, and instead like yesterday, there's a little piece of me that felt, I don't like my... What did it think? It said, oh, my voice is horrible. Yeah, that's the little thought that popped in, and I sort of had to push it away, but it has been going around there. But what's going to happen is, next time somebody leaves me a hateful comment, instead of that thought potentially going up there, all I'm going to think is ice cream. So I'll make a note of it, and I just want to get 10 now, because then I can have an ice cream, which will be nice. And once I got to 10, I can do it again. So I'll have another 10, and maybe I could have a bar of chocolate or something. It's like, I'm quite excited now to get hate. That sounds weird. Hate. This is what I think it is, turning negative into positive. Everything that is negative can be turned into positive. I'm convinced of this. So that's basically what I've learnt this past 24 hours really. And then I've also been thinking, how do you respond to that? Do you respond to it? So do you reply to that comment? You never reply to anything in a negative way. That is the golden rule. And also, I think you never reply to something straight away, because if you reply to it straight away, you might say the wrong thing. So I always sit on, if I'm going to say something which I'm not sure about, I always sit on it just to make sure. But I was like thinking, do you reply to it and explain why your voice is a bit rough? Do you make a joke of it, or do you just leave it there? Or do you delete it? I don't think you delete it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reply to it in a nice way and just explain why my voice is like it is, and that'll be good enough for me. But I have learnt so much from this. It was quite fun. The original feeling was negative, and it's all about awareness. Like, it's about intercepting that thought, because I know, like in the past, that thought would have completely destroyed me. And I know this because in about 2007, I used to make videos about video games. I was on YouTube as Red Bull Racer. I've deleted the account and stuff, but this is why I deleted the account. I used to make videos about video games, like my top 10 video games and stuff like that. It got really successful, and I started receiving so many negative comments about my voice. And at that time, I wasn't doing any of this meditation, and I didn't have any real awareness. I was super insecure, I guess, about my voice, but I still wanted to do these videos. So I was forcing myself to do it, but I was terrified of negative comments. And what happened was, these negative comments, I guess I couldn't handle it. I didn't have a way of turning it into a positive, and what ended up happening was I just deleted the account. And that's not the way to do it, because then you're not putting your stuff out there. And it goes back to that quote from last week, from that book, where I can't remember what it was. It was something like, the world needs your creativity or something. So this is it. Like, you've got to put your stuff out there, even if you get negative. And then it also goes back to something Sean McCabe says on SeanWest.com, where he says, basically, haters are positive. Haters are positive. It means you're making an impact, I guess. And that's basically that. But this almost links in with lucid dreaming as well. So I had a lucid dream this week. What was it last week? There was one I wanted to talk about last week, which was amazing. Oh yeah, it's to do with fears. So lucid dreaming is amazing, because you can go into a dream, and before you go to bed, you can make the intention of what you want to do. So you can become aware in your dream, and you can go into it with an intention, and then in the dream you can carry that intention out. So my current goal for the past couple of months has been to face my fears, because I know I've got so many fears, and I can't work out what some of them are. And like social situations, they still scare me so much, and I can't work out what it is. So I'm trying to just face them in these lucid dreams. The first one last week was incredible. So this is why I love lucid dreaming, because you don't know what's going to happen, even though you don't. So I was in a dream. My dad was in that one as well, and he was trying to padlock me inside this house where I used to live, which was weird. I started running away, and then what happened was, a little robin. A robin is my spirit animal. You can see I've done a painting of robins. I love robins, and there was this little robin in this dream, and it threw some food at me. It was boiling hot food. It hit my arm, and I actually felt it as if it was real. And I thought, I'm dreaming here. So I became lucid. That little robin allowed me to become lucid, and as soon as I became lucid, I thought, I want to face my fears. That was my goal. So I said, I want to face my dream. I want to face my dreams. I do want to face my dreams because my dreams are full of fear. Yes. But I said I want to face my fears. I said it to the dream, and then this voice said, put these earphones in and do as I say, which is weird. Again, you can't make this up. This is why I love it. And so the location I was in was my old house, and this voice said, go to the back. I don't think it said go to the back. I just started walking to the back of this garden, but this voice said sit. So what happened was I was in the back lane where I used to live, little narrow back lane, and it said sit. So I sat, and I shut my eyes, and I thought to myself, inside the dream I thought, well, it didn't say shut my eyes. So I opened my eyes again. I looked to my left, there was somebody coming towards me. I looked to my right, and all of a sudden this bus comes round the corner, and the voice kept saying sit, because I wanted to get up, because I thought to myself, I was looking at this bus and I was thinking, this bus is the same width as this path. I'm sat on this path, this bus is heading towards me, this bus is going to run me over. So I thought, well, I've got to get up, sit. It kept saying sit, and I was thinking, this bus is going to hit me here. And look, I kept looking at this bus, and as it got closer, I realised the bus was on two wheels. And what happened was the bus, and you got to remember, this is more real than real. So you think this bus is going to hit you, even though you know you're dreaming. You think it's real. It's hard to explain. It is more real than real. So if this bus had hit me, it probably would have really hurt. But this bus was on two wheels, and what happened was it came towards me, and it missed me by inches. And there's this lady in the front of the bus, massive grin on her face, weird looking character. She had her leg out like that, and her leg I could feel her leg brushing against the top of my head. And the bus went across like that, and then I woke up, and I thought, blimey, to me, that fear was saying, what was it saying? It was saying, you've got to accept that you've got no control. It's about control, because there's a really deep message in that. I woke up feeling really quite powerful. It was like somehow it's saying you've got to face your fears, and when you face your fears, it's not going to be scary. It's going to be alright. But I woke up thinking that was like a level 1 test. It was testing me to see if I would sit there, because it was so tempting to get up, because I thought this bus is going to hit me. But I feel like as soon as that bus went past me, I woke up, because it's as if I passed the test. So I went back into it, and I could just tell that this was going to be like a phase. That was like a baby test of fear, facing your fear of sitting in front of something that's going to hit you, and having the confidence that it's not going to hit you. So I just feel like, and I still feel this, it's going to ramp up. The dream is going to ramp up these fears, and it's going to keep testing me. So the next one, I went into this dream. Well, I was in a dream again. I was in one of my old houses, and I've become aware that my dad is a dream symbol. I've turned him into a dream symbol, which means if I go into a dream and my dad is there, it's got more chance of becoming lucid, because I know that my dad is pretty much only in dreams now, because I don't see him. If I see my dad, I've got more chance of saying I'm dreaming, which will make me lucid. So I was in this house, my dad was there, he walked out this door, and I just thought I'm dreaming, because I saw my dad. He had just said goodbye to everybody, and I thought, I'm going to go and open the door and go talk to my dad. So this is again, I've thought about this, lucid dreaming, it has like levels. The first level is you become lucid, but you're still in the dream. So the dream it's almost like you become an observer of the dream, as if you're watching a TV program. So you're aware that you're watching a TV program, but you've got no control over the program. It's going to just play out, but you're watching it, so you can watch it, and like instead of it just being something that you forget about, you can come back with memories of it and try to study it. And then the next level is you go into the dream. You're now inside of the TV. It's like you're in the TV program playing the character. You're actually playing the character, but you're still like on a script. So you've still got to play your part of the dream. The next level is you're in the TV show, but you're completely in control. Well, yeah, you're in control of what you're doing, but the dream is still in control of what it's doing. So you're kind of working together. The next one is you become lucid. You're in that TV program, and you pretty much turn around and say, I can't be bothered with this, and you walk out the studio and do whatever you want. So that's like the extreme. That is you're getting yourself out of the dream. And for instance, you can say, I want to go to Egypt. Bang, you can pop yourself into Egypt. So instead of being in the script, you can start writing your own script. So in this one, I feel like it was a kind of a low level lucid one, because I saw my dad, it made me lucid, but I didn't think to myself, I thought I'm going to open a door, but I didn't know what I was going to do. So I opened the door, and then the dream character said, Dad, do you love me? But my dad, it's weird, my dad was looking at me as I opened the door, really vivid, I can still see him. He was like it was my dad from the 80s, so he's quite a young dad. Looking at me like that, I asked the question, Dad, do you love me? And suddenly he was looking away from me, so I didn't see him turn around. It's weird, it's as if he just flipped like that. So he's looking away from me. He was getting into the car, and this is weird. This is to do with my fears here. So I said, Dad, do you love me? And he said, who? And in this one, I was kind of like the observer of this, and the observer of me was thinking, what the hell? Who? But the dream character said, Dad, do you love me? So I'm still watching this, and my dad says, who? Who are you? Who is you? And the dream character said, me, Sophie, do you love me? Me, Sophie. And my dad, he said, no, I'm terrified of you. And that was amazing. I woke up from that. I couldn't get back to sleep after that. I wrote it down. And this is why I love lucid dreaming. You just get so much information out of the dreams, so many insights. So, I've thought about that because my dad has been, like I said, he's been a bit of a hater towards me being transgender, which has made me have to stop talking to him, which I don't really want to do, but I had to because, as I've said, if you've got negative, it's going to bring you down, so you have to work it out. But I thought to myself, wow, the reason my dad is being a bit of a hater is because he's scared. So actually, maybe this even answers the question of why do people leave negative comments. It's because they're scared. That's amazing. I didn't think about that until now. This little thing is like a little circle here. It's all coming from fear. Hate is coming from fear. So it just made me think, wow, my dad is probably as scared as I have been for the last, because for like 35 years, until I really accepted myself, I was living in complete fear. I was just living in fear of this transgender thing. So I just suddenly realised my dad is probably living in the same sort of thing, but in reverse. So I would really love to be able to talk to my dad about this. I'd love to be able to talk to him to see if he knows that. I'd like to just ask him why, but the thing is I can't, because every time I try to ask him like why he's being a bit of a hater and stuff, he would just very stubborn. He wouldn't really listen to me. So I feel like I'm at a point where I just got to wait for my dad to come to me and say that he's willing to listen, because I'm willing to listen to my dad, but there's no point listening to somebody if they're not going to listen to you. It's weird, but this lucid dreaming thing is amazing. It's just amazing. It's the most powerful thing ever, and I'm really excited to face these fears, but there's so much fear. It's amazing how much fear. When you start looking at it, you can just see how much fear is controlling your life, really. It's quite amazing. And I think you just have to break one little fear at a time. Keep getting rid of these little fears and negative things, and in the end, I think it'll be alright. That's basically it for this week's podcast. It's fascinating to me. I like fear and negativity because it's the opposite of positive and love. And I think to fully understand positive and love, you need to fully understand hate and negativity, because they do go together. I can see that. So it's quite fascinating, but that's it for this week's podcast. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any negative comments you want to leave, you can leave one in the comments in the video, or you can send me a negative comment to sophie@sophielawson.com, and it will help me get to my ice cream, which should be nice. And that's basically it. So show notes at sophielawson.com and YouTube videos at youtube.com/sophielawson. I'm not sure what the next few episodes is going to be, whether I'm going to go back to random topics or whether I'm going to talk about this Cats of June, because I really want to focus on Cats of June and trying to learn as much as I can, which when you're talking about something you're learning, that's when you learn quite a lot. So I might make June be all about the Cats of June, and I think that's it really. What I'm going to do for the end quote is I've got these Mr. Men books. I found these in the second-hand shop. All of these Mr. Men books, there's must be 20 or 30 of them. How many is there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 22. There's 22 Mr. Men books, and I got them for £1.50, which is amazing. And one of my little goals for the future is I want to create books like this with my character Little Sophie, but I want them to be like books for kids about how it's all going to be about accepting yourself and being true to yourself and not caring what other people think. Maybe this is why I have had to go through a life of haters and stuff, because it's going to teach me, and the best way to pass knowledge on is to experience it. So maybe it all makes sense in the end. Maybe it does all make sense in the end. So I thought, if I get these books, I can sort of study them, and one day I'd like to have little Sophie books like this, just telling stories about being true to yourself for children. Because I think if kids can just understand the positivity, and if they can understand and just do, I think if kids are doing meditation at a really young age, I think this world would be amazing, because it would just be so much more positive. But what I'm going to do is I'll pick this one. I'm going to pick one of these books and go to a page, and just the end quote is going to be something from that page. So this one is going to be all about, it's from the book Little Miss Magic by Roger Hargreaves, and it includes Mr. Tickle. So I'll just read what it says, and then I'll see if there's anything there as a quote. So it said, "She, who is Little Miss Magic, she pointed at Mr. Tickle's extraordinarily long right arm." That's a big word for a kid's book. I can't even say it. Extraordinarily long right arm. "Shriek," she said. And then she pointed at Mr. Tickle's exceedingly long left arm. "Shriek," she said again. And, as you remember, when Little Miss Magic tells something to do something, it does it. That goes into my dream. No, I could link it in there, because the dream told me to sit, and I sit. There's not really any end quotes there, apart from shriek. Shriek. This week's quote is shriek. That's funny. That's not going to be good enough. That's not going to be good enough. I need an end quote. Here we go. I'll pick the last line of this book. This would be a good little quote. So it's from the book Little Miss Magic by Roger Hargreaves. I'm going to read the top bit, and then I'll read the bottom bit. And on that Tuesday morning, as one of those extraordinarily long arms... I can't believe that word is in this book. Why would they put a big word like that in there? As one of those extraordinarily long arms reached in through the open window of abracadabra. These words are massive. I'm going to read it again. And on that Tuesday morning, as one of those extraordinarily long arms reached in through the open window of Abracadabra Cottage, the small smile on the face of Mr. Tickle turned into a giant grin. 1 tickle a day, he thought. 1 tickle a day. That's this week's quote, 1 tickle a day. I think what that means is 1 little tickle, 1 little bit of positivity a day is all you need. Yes. That's sometimes all you've got is 1 little tickle. Tickle, tickle. 1 tickle a day. Roger Hargreaves.